Maybe Senator Gloria is comfortable because any of her family members have never been abducted. But abduction of young people in this country must stop. And they happen within the structure of security in this country as well as outside the structure of this country. You might make noise as much as you want, but I can assure you that one day your own family member or your own relative will be abducted and you won't be sitting pretty.
Who is abducting these people? And is the government unable to stop these abductions and killings?
Ruto's regime and the entire Kenya Kwanza government has continued facing sharp criticism on state abductions, extrajudicial killings, and unfulfilled promises. First, this came from the Catholic bishops who've continue criticizing the government over what they call false promises that continue to trickle in, day out. Yet the same government using the church to try and sanitize themselves.
Who is abducting these people? And is the government unable to stop these abductions and killings?
Unkept promises and misplaced priorities is unacceptable and needs to be dealt with. It is baffling that a bill proposing an extension of the 5-year term to 7 years is being considered, and apparently there are plans to rush it through the legislative system. We need to critically scrutinize this political move.
The political wrangles in the government have generated unwanted tensions and deepened divisions among our people.
Also, in an interview with the Citizen TV, former Minister Mukisa Kitui also weighed in these as they say that the government has continued decepting Kenyans with what he termed as a perennial lies, cerebral lies, and which makes Kenyans be like people who are not reasoning. Nonetheless, let us watch and see what the former Minister Mukisa Kitui as he criticizes this government.
You cannot just impose on Kenyans decisions by fiat without even an attempt to listen to them. And the fact that you went through rituals of consultation, that you called some people in some places and got some politicians to say, oh, this is popular participation, and came back and called it participation. Huh? That legitimizes the mistaken behavior they're having. I never knew in the democratic transition of this country that will come to a time when lies and ill-advised policy and rule by fiat will become so mainstreamed after all the sacrifices this country has made and after all the celebration that we are now a renewed country. But this is what the church is talking to them. Look at yourselves. You do not deserve to be our leaders if you continue behaving this way. If you continue finding excuses about abductions and murders. When you hear a president telling people, I have now given instruction to investigate femicide, where were you? Your primary responsibility is protection of our lives before our property. What has woken you up now to start giving instructions? Why are you denying them instructions to investigate what was going on?
Mukisa Kitui goes ahead and tells of government from what they term as public participation, whereby a few people sit in a high-profile meeting, then they come out and consider that as public participation. He has criticized the government that that is not the right way on how to handle issues. This comes after, for instance, you can see the issues of SHIF and SHA. When there was a change of banknotes earlier on from the old notes to the new currency that we have, a lot of public participation was conducted, and so many people, if not everybody, knew about this change of currency. Now, what is it different with SHA or SHIF trying to educate people from the most critical sector, which is health? That is the government that we have of the day. Senator Eddie Okecha, while even trying to bring these issues so that it is seen so serious in the Senate, he was booed, and even the Senate Speaker was trying to weigh him down in his expression to show how this issue is too serious. For a long time, we've been speaking about this, but people have been saying like we are just throwing jabs at the government of the day. Nonetheless, let us watch this and it will tell you the status of the nation and the kind of leaders that we have.
Mr. Speaker, I was very clear about the document which is a resource of this House that has gone to the President. In that document, we were very clear about a number of issues that we complained about. Unless Senator Gloria was not in this House to listen to what was being discussed in this House, Mr. Speaker, I am very clear in my mind, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, let me say this, Mr. Speaker. Maybe Senator Gloria is comfortable because any of her family members have never been abducted. But abduction of young people in this country must stop. And they happen within the structure of security in this country as well as outside the structure of this country. You might make noise as much as you want, but I can assure you that one day your own family member or your own relative will be abducted and you won't be sitting pretty. We must stop the abduction of young people in this country. It must stop.
So, you've been called upon to substantiate those allegations. What did you mean by structured abductions within government? Instead of responding to that, you've been shouting back at your colleagues. Proceed, Senator Eddy, to substantiate. If you're not in a position to do that today, you know exactly what to do.
That resolution, if you read it, Mr. Speaker, it talks about abductions and killings that this Senate was tired of, addressed to government. Mr. Speaker, if it is addressed to government, Mr. Speaker, and it has not been responded.
Have a seat.
Mr. Speaker, I hadn't finished. They ate on my time, Mr. Speaker. They ate on my time.
Sit down. Take your seat.
Mr. Speaker, you are giving them so they ate on my time.
Take your seat.
Eddie Okech, talking about abductions happening within the structures of government and outside other structures. And Mr. Speaker, you know, there's an allegation there being placed on, I'm not even sure whether he's targeting an individual in government, whether he's, because he has also mentioned the president at one point. Can he substantiate these structures within government where he's saying that are being used for abduction? Perhaps he knows of a unit, a particular unit that he can even just mention, so that even us as senators, we can come out and call out that unit. We would like to know which is this inside government. Maybe, and if he cannot substantiate, he must apologize and withdraw, because this is the upper house. This is not the National Assembly. This is a house of records, a house of procedure, and we carry ourselves with facts.
Nonetheless, even those who are trying to criticize the government on all these are getting it rough. For instance, right now, Morara Kebaso, the proponent of Injector, is now being discussed in Senate by the motion from Senator Cherargei, the Nandi senator, who now wants Morara Kebaso audited for public appeal of funds, yet they cannot even try to audit the government of the day from the finances that have been given out. What a shame.
I don't know whether Morara Kebaso, who is fundraising to go and audit for fuel and working around with security, I don't know whether Morara Kebaso, the proponent of Inject, is part of public fundraising appeals. Because when you fundraise to fuel your car, to do something, I don't know whether it is part of the public fundraising. And I agree, there must be standards as to such, Mr. Speaker. I don't know, public fundraising involves also fundraising for campaigns. I have not seen in this bill, Mr. Speaker, although we have campaigning finance laws in this country, but this public, I think we should have just regulated in terms of auditing. Let us regulate to public fundraising appeals.
As if that is not even enough, the CS for Treasury, that is John Mbadi, is now proposing a 15% tax on social media, that is content creators. Now, remember, as you withdraw that money, for instance, from YouTube, as you withdraw that money from your Google AdSense to your bank account, the government also takes almost half of your earnings from YouTube. That is already enough frustration for a content creator. Now they also want to impose another 15%. Isn't it double taxation? When a certain company gives you an advertisement or you get into a deal with a certain company, already there is tax that you are paying. So I don't know. who advises the government. This is the juncture whereby I say that Kenyans, you are left alone. By the way, very soon the president will be in parliament to address the status of the nation. According to the president, the economy has stabilized. According to Ruto, life has eased and is becoming affordable to Kenyans. Well, wherever you are, you know the reality. Our president has become a perennial liar, and this is not the time to shut our mouths. This is the time to let our voices heard. If it is the right time to occupy parliament, then there is no other right time than this. We are tired of this government who's continuously committed atrocities to its citizens, and nothing good is seen to be coming out of this government. Even what we considered as the opposition has laid into bed with the government for continued oppression of the people, of its citizens. What a shame. I don't know. What is your thought on this? Give us your comment in the comment section below. If you're watching from our YouTube channel, kindly subscribe and press notification button so anytime that we are live, you'll be the very first person to be notified, or anytime that we upload content of this nature, you will receive it. If you're watching us from our Facebook page, kindly follow our Facebook page for regular updates. Ahmed Khalif is my name for the unscripted talks here in DURB Radio. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Kwa timba kali za Afrika, DURB Radio ndio mpango mzima.